First time I've heard Izzy speak. Our next speaker, joining us for the first time, and her name's Faith. Faith was born in Bangladesh, but she was raised here in Bristol. She attended a Sunni Muslim school, and she's the eldest of 5 siblings. She began to question her faith relatively recently, and in 2017, having been a devout Muslim for a number of years, she denounced her faith. And when Faye shared that with her family, she was disowned. So now we're going to hear from Faye.
I'm really nervous. I haven't spoken publicly ever before, so this is the first time, and I've done something very different to what you just did. So now that's adding to how nervous I am.
No rules.
I guess not. But I've faced 10 great struggles in my life, and they taught me 10 very important lessons, and not all of them are fun. So the first struggle that I had was my mother's illness and her death. And that taught me about acceptance and resilience. The second one was the care of my siblings, and that taught me patience and perseverance. The third was my father's remarriage, and then the suicide attempt that followed of my stepmother, and this taught me that I can't change anyone. Then it was my family's negligence, and that taught me that blood is meaningless. And then it was the marriage that was arranged for me, and this taught me that I really couldn't trust anyone. Then it was my father's abuse, and that taught me that I'm ready to die for something. Then it was my family's condemnation after I reported him, and that taught me that the patriarchy really is alive in our communities. Then it was the removal of my children, and I do consider them my children. They're actually my siblings, but I raised them. And that showed me true cruelty and othering. Then it was my crisis in faith, and that taught me that there isn't a God that's loving and merciful in heaven. Then finally, it was my family's disownment, and that reinforced again that blood is meaningless, but it also taught me that I'm the only one who can choose what I do. I'm the master of my fate. That's the summary of the last 4 years of my life. And in this period, I had 3 great loves, things that I invested everything in. My family, my father, and my faith. And one by one, they all betrayed me. Islam used to be my whole life. I used to pray 5 times a day and relish every second spent begging for mercy. I would savor every pang of hunger I felt fasting in Ramadan. I would cradle every Arabic character on my tongue as I recited the Quran. I was a true, devout, and loving believer of Allah. And I was stoic. Nothing could shake my faith. Not death when he stole my mother from me, not madness when he stole my father from me, and not honor when it took my children from me. My fear of eternal fire was greater than my hunger for freedom. But once I left my bubble and received help from kafirs, from infidels, in the form of the Metropolitan Police in Brent, my community manager Michael Stewart, and my best friend, and now my sister Alicia, I started to realize that I have no true affection for them because my Lord had doomed them all. All the idols that I had given my devotion to had failed me, beaten me, or betrayed me, but heathens damned to hell had shown me kindness. And I wondered, how could an all-knowing God build an eternal furnace and set 90% of his free-willed creation up to fail? Such a God was not merciful, such a God was not gracious, and he certainly was not the greatest. So I abandoned a cruel God. I didn't have anything left to contemplate about that. How could I venerate a tyrant? As human beings, we We're rebellious of people in power that take advantage of us, so why should we venerate a God that does the exact same thing? Why should I fear such a small creature? And fear drove my family to do desperate things. They only did those things because they fear God and they wanted to retain power. I'm alone in this world, a young woman with next to nothing to her name and no family to call mine, and I have to be okay with that because I have no alternative. I sacrificed my investment in everything I loved and thought loved me to open my heart to everyone and everything. And that was something that I was restricted from doing by Allah. I am kind, and for a long time Islam took that innocence from me. This is my hill, and I'm prepared to die on it. And let it be known that I would rather burn in hell forever with good people than be put out to pasture with a bunch of fearful sheep.
Wow. Let that sink in.